Mhm.
Guys, good to see you, brother. Good to
You
see you.
too?
Well, I wanted to jump on a call, mate, because I've been doing a lot of these client interviews lately.
Yep.
Everyone, like yourself, have written me, great testimonials from the transformations that you had. But when we do these interviews, we can actually dive in to help people understand exactly what coaching is, why someone would join coaching, and just help people understand a little bit more, gain a little bit more clarity about what coaching is and what the potential results are, from joining my coaching itself, right? In terms
Yeah.
of yourself, bro, what was your life
Mm.
like before me and you started our journey together? And I know we've been on a few different rounds of
Yeah.
coaching, right? But if we don't mind taking it right back, just sort of like why you got coached by me in the first place.
I'd probably say the easiest way to describe my life before the coaching was empty. Like from the outside, things might have looked great. Technically, I had a business. Um, I was doing all right from the outside, but deep down, I had nothing really going on. Like I had no direction. I had no motivation really. I suppose if I was to take it back like many years ago, I was in a relationship for a long time, like 9 years. And when we split up, I just filled that gap with partying, going out too much, all like stuff that doesn't really drive you forward. And I just stayed still, like just plateaued for many years. So I had
Mm,
nothing really going on. So from the outside, it might look great. Oh, guys always laughing, guys always out, guys got money. But deep down, I had no money. I had a
mm,
business, but if I wouldn't really call it a business. And I had no direction. So, and then all of those things really, like fast forward into just before I got on your first program, was taking a toll on my relationship. Obviously, that relationship ended, the old one. I went out, I filled it with partying, met someone new, and slowed down a little bit. But my
mm.
life just plateaued, and but yeah, it was taking a toll on my relationship. And in my mind, I was like, because I reduced the amount of time I was going out, I was like, well, I'm better than I was, so I must be doing
Mm,
well.
for sure. When was that moment that you realized I need to do something different than I've been doing?
Just before I had my first baby, so
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget. It's just like one particular bender that I went on, and I remember coming back at like 8, 9 in the morning, having a massive row and being like, oh, what's the problem? Like, it's not like I'm out cheating and that. I'm just talking crap in someone's kitchen. Like, why are you on my back? Like, and it was so close to the baby was due. And I remember thinking like, why are you on my back? Like, there could be so many more worse things I could be doing. And I remember at that point now, I was like, no. And then about a day or two later, I was like, no, do you know what? I'm the problem. Like, I'm the
Mm.
problem here. But
What?
because I'd slowed down from what I was doing, in
Yeah.
my mind, subconsciously, I was like, what's wrong with that? I go out a couple of times a week, or maybe not a couple of times a week, but I go out like every other week. I'm in a relationship, I treat you well. But really, like if I actually look at the bigger picture, like I was just in a downward spiral.
For sure. Thanks for sharing, bro. And what do you feel like are some fears or doubts that you had before coaching, if there were any? Did you have any kind of reservations? I know before you hadn't done anything like this. Was anything kind of holding
What
you
was
back
putting me
or,
off?
yeah, putting you off to kind of dive in and do coaching? And what led you to think, you know what, I'm going to work with Jack?
Well, to answer the last bit, what made me want to work with you is because I felt like it was relatable.
Mm,
I'd seen your journey, and thinking back now, I must have been like one of the first on the right at the beginning stages. It was good to see that it was still raw from you as well. Like I see that you was transitioning, but I see the improvements that you'd made on your life because you
mm,
documented it. And
yeah.
I knew your past. Do you know what I mean? From having like mutual friends and stuff, and I admired that. Um, and that was part of some of my doubts and why I went with you because like I thought, well, what are my friends going to think of me? Like one minute I'm out all the time doing this, doing that, and next minute I'm like going sober, um, changing my life. It's a little bit embarrassing. Like that's how I felt at the time. Now
Yeah,
it's
for
completely
sure.
opposite. At the time, I
Yeah,
was
for
like,
sure.
what are my friends going to think of me? What are the things I'm going to miss out on? Do I really need to spend this money, or could I just watch a couple of David Goggins videos? And like, do you know what I mean? They were the things that are probably going through my mind. Like, and I still get it to this day. Not so much now because I've changed so much, but when I tell people that I've got a coach or this, that, and they go, oh, like, what would you really need that for? Like, you
Mm,
like, but you just need like someone to hold you accountable, like the reassurance and the guidance, and you're paying for you're paying for experience that you've been through. You're just fast tracking the process.
For sure. And that time where you was at then, now we're talking a couple of years ago, like for everyone that's listening, right? We've done what, 4 rounds of coaching together. So we're originally
Yes.
talking about my B program, which is not the high performance that I currently do.
Yeah.
But back then, where do you feel like you was in yourself personally and professionally at that time when you felt like you needed to make that jump? Like what was the business looking like? What was you feeling like? What was you doing with your life?
Oh, so what I was doing, I was literally just living week to week, month to month, doing the same stuff. Nothing driving me forward. I had no personal goals. Business goals, not really. I couldn't really see where in my mind I used to think that, oh, I'd love a showroom one day. I would love to do X amount of money, but I never really had a plan. I never, it was all just like a pipe dream. I had it there, but I never really worked towards it or built goals to get there. So
Mm,
business, the numbers were really, really small. Always stayed relatively busy. One of the good things for me, which helped me, is that when I've always stayed in one profession, like my whole life, I've always done kitchens. So from school, I left and was fitting kitchens, and then I built a reputation of like being the kitchen guy because I've done it for so many years. So I still had regular work
mm.
because I was well known in what I'd done, but it was just slow. It wasn't like I was just waiting for it to come to me. I never went out and grabbed anything. Um, and plenty of times I remember like waking up on a Monday hungover. Oh, can't bother this. Do you know what I mean? Like Monday was a chore, whereas now like I'm excited for Mondays.
Mm.
Mondays are good, a good day.
Love that. And after that transition that we went from that program to the high performance, right? What are some noticeable personal and professional goals that you've achieved over the last, year or so through working together with me, both personally and professionally that you're proud of?
What goals have I achieved?
Yeah, what
Oh
goals have
wow.
you achieved personally and
Well,
professionally?
let's just say this year alone, which is like the last time we done the program, I ran a marathon, which I didn't think was possible. Well, let's start business wise because that's pretty. They're all big achievements. But I actually want to. I'm going back and forward here. Let me go back to when my biggest achievement when we first was on the program. It was when I opened my showroom because it was the one time that I really like understood what change actually what can come from changing like small habits like
Mm,
reduce. I think there's a misconception about your program that you have to go sober because that's not the case, but
mm,
trust me, it helps if you do, or you at least control it. So I initially went sober for a little while, not with the intention to be sober forever, but just to get my life on track.
mm.
So um, I think that is a big misconception about the program. I think because when I first started, a lot of people used to say to me, "Oh, but you've got to go sober and you can't this, you can't that." No, you don't want to do that because you see how much your life's improving when you reduce it.
For
Um,
sure.
so my one of the biggest goals to this day is opening my showroom. I remember it was just I had the idea when I first joined the program, but I could never see how I was going to get to it. And financially, I had nothing. Like when I first joined your program, I had not a penny. I remember I had 24p in the bank. Yeah, I'll never forget this. Um, but I signed up for the program because I knew that if I was going to give myself the best opportunity, it'd be with someone like yourself. And it's the best thing I've ever done. So I opened up my showroom. That's one of the biggest goals that I've achieved because year on year since then, we've doubled our turnover. Personally, my relationship's never been stronger. We've relocated abroad now. It's not permanent yet, but it's looking highly likely. We went there as a trial, and we're gonna try and make it happen. Um, I've run a marathon, done Tough Mudders, I've done climbed the mountain, um, skydive. I mean, anyone can do that, but still, like
Yeah, for sure. But
really achieved.
even these external, and by the way, well done on everything that you've achieved. Like even just noticeable from you, I know even the habits that you've built, the weight loss that you've dropped. We've got loads of,
Yeah.
external accomplishments that you've achieved, both personally and professionally. How about some internal changes or mindset shifts that you feel like you've adopted throughout the coaching? Just one or two that stood out for you that you feel like you now apply to your life that allows you to continuously elevate and succeed.
What? So like traits that I've picked up
Yeah,
on.
traits that you feel like you've picked up, or a different attitude or a mindset that you feel like you've tapped into throughout the coaching.
One of the biggest things, which I know it stems off like the no drinking thing, because I do drink now. Like I don't go out all the time. I limit it, but it's like the fear of missing out. That's something that like there's no such thing. And now I look not to like look down at other people, but I look at how many people are stuck in their old routines because of the bad habits they have.
Mm,
Whereas like just by limiting it can really transform your life.
mm,
Small changes like that. Like you don't need to go out all the time. I like to reward myself here and there, but I limit it now. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and it's just like backing yourself, like actually, so like when you're in the tough times, because it's not easy, it's like that the whole way through. Do you know what I mean? Like right now, I'm up here, but I'm not getting complacent. I know that any minute it can dip, but when it does dip, I just roll my sleeves up and keep going. And a lot of
Mm,
that would be relates to like when I train for the marathon. Every week, oh, I'm going to do it. Oh no, I'm not. Oh yeah, I am. Oh no, I'm not. But you just get through it, and then it just make that the journey is so much more rewarding than the finish line. Like when I finished that marathon, like I do not know how I finished it. Or when I finished it, I looked back at all them weeks, all them times I trained, but I didn't want to, and that like I was more proud of that than anything else. That I
yeah, for
actually done it.
sure.
All them times I didn't want to, I wanted to stay in bed or I wanted to go out or just having goals, setting them and sticking to them.
What is one of the biggest things you're proud of through the coaching?
It's going to sound a bit fair, but actually joining it because so many people I think are like, should I, shouldn't I, what's it going to, how am I going to benefit? But just actually doing it
Mm. And
is
you
the biggest thing.
love that. And do you mind asking why you've coached by me 4 times? Some people might think, well, it obviously don't work. He keeps fucking going back and getting coached by him, yeah? What is the reason for joining this coaching 4 times?
Because one, you've elevated every time and we've learned new things. Every time I've taken, it's no coincidence that every time I've been on the program, I've gone like that. So what happens is, and maybe it's my own fault for not sticking to it like properly, but like I'll do the coaching, go like that, and then I'll go flat. And then I'll still do it right, or I'll go up a little bit, but I want to go like that. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
So like
Yeah.
I'll do it and then I'll stay still. Some bad habits will start creeping in. I won't set goals. And then I slowly start dipping off and I'm like, no, I need to be on it again. Go on it
Mm.
again, take it to another level. We've joined it 4 times. My business as like times 10. Last year I done my biggest year ever. And I remember when we set a goal when I first won the program, not for the first time, like recently at the start of the year, and you was like, what's the goal for this year? I'm like, oh, I've done 7 figures last year. And I was like, oh, like a 20% increase. She's like, why? Why not double it? I'm like, oh, it's a bit unrealistic. We've doubled it. Like, we're not even at the end of the year. We've still got 2 months left. Like,
Love that.
so just having you pushing the boundaries, driving you forward, teaching you new habits, new beliefs. And sometimes as well, on the coaching, there's so much to take in that for me, sometimes I can only implement bits of it at a time. So once I've mastered them, I want to go on it again to learn the other bits. Like
Yeah, for
there's still
sure.
so much like that I want to like get down. I want to get down um, meditating more, like psychology, physiology, like these things here I've not mastered yet. So I will be coming back on and getting
Mm.
to get to them. But other areas I have, it
Excelled.
becomes natural.
Love that. But every time that you have joined, and even when you stopped, you never went back though, right? Does that make
Never went
sense? Like
backwards.
never went back. That's what
Never.
some people might think. They might think, oh, what if I get on this coach and I do really good? Jack's not around no more. Will I go back to my old self?
No, you won't go
No.
back.
It's just
No.
that you reach one level and what maybe it feels like a plateau at that time, even though it's 100 times better than where you were, it just means that you're ready to take your life to that next level,
Oh yeah,
so on
of
and so
course.
forth, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not that you plateau. You make so much improvement in the short amount of time that you're on the program that you feel like you're doing yourself a disjustice. When you're not on it, you feel like, no,
Yeah.
why am I not? And
Yeah.
it's so easy to tell yourself, oh yeah, I'll just replicate it every time. But having someone behind you push it. Why do you think the best athletes in the world? have
Mm,
coaches, have nutritionists. Do you not think Ronaldo knows what he should and shouldn't eat? But he
mm,
has someone there doing his nutrition, helping him, coaches. Um, it's about having someone behind you, pushing you forward, driving you, motivating you. When you're down, having someone there saying, no, 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 come on, you can do it. Sometimes
mm.
you just need a pat on the back. Do you
Love
know what I mean?
that.
Or someone there to say, you can do a bit better than that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that one conversation, fucking a double of seven figures. That
Yeah.
sounds promising to me, bro.
Do you know what I
Um,
mean?
Mate, thank you. Listen, and I hope that you, because look, we haven't coached for a little while, but you was, one of my first kind of coaching clients, and we've probably worked together for the last 3 years. And I love that the fact that we've done this because number one, I hope when you come off this, you realize how far you've come. Before the
Mm.
coaching, as you said, no money, 24p in the bank, put it all on the line, borrowed some money to invest in this coaching, managed to get your showroom off the ground in the fact in the space of 2 to 3 years, turning it into a multi 7 figure business is unbelievable. I've seen
Mm.
you run marathons. I've seen you done Tough Mudders, a boxing fight that you've done. I've
Boxing
seen you
fight, yeah.
drop loads of weight. I've seen you improve your relationship. Also, whilst having, 2 kids and a family is not an easy thing to do. So I hope that you
Mm.
just recognize your own success as
Yeah.
much as I recognize how far you come. Because and built a great personal brand.
Yeah.
Having the
Yeah.
confidence to build a great personal brand. And I'm bringing these wins up because sometimes people find it hard to articulate or show or share their own success. And I'm always an observer and I know the ins and outs of everything you've done from where you was to where you are now. And that's why I want to do this is
Yeah.
to give other people a little insight of what's possible when you commit and go in on being the best version of you. And I think you've been a great testament to that, right? Is there
Yeah.
anything else you'd like to share about your journey or any advice for anyone else thinking like you was, a couple of years ago? Is it something that I should do, should not to do? Would you like to share any pieces of advice or share anything about your journey that you feel like would be impactful for someone else that's going to watch this video?
Not really about my journey, but I'd like to just say, like, if you have any doubts, like, just invest in yourself. We waste so much time and money into things that are not getting us in the places that we want to be. And by investing in someone that can help you get there quicker, like teach you all the skills, all the mistakes they made, like you're buying their knowledge. Even like to this day, like one of the things you taught me is like invest in yourself. Like you never told me to do that, but I've watched you do that. I
Mm,
see you as an unbelievable coach, and you're
thank
still
you.
hiring coaches. You're hiring people to help you do your running plans. Like it's just if you've got a goal to get there faster, you need to hire people to help you get there. And I think like
Mm,
investing in yourself, like it might seem like a lot of money, but the price you pay in the time you have to wait by or the mistakes you make is priceless. Um, I would 100% everyone that I speak to, I highly recommend the program. I'm not just saying it because we're on this call. Like now we just had a little chat. Like I've had a different coach for that business, a business strategic plan. I've got
love
a
it.
public speaking coach. All these things. Like, do I want to be a public speaker? No, but I know that I can improve. I'm building a personal brand for like myself and my business, and I just want to come across a bit better. There's things sometimes I mumble, sometimes I stutter, sometimes I freeze. All these fine margins about improving like myself. Um, you do that and you get there quicker by investing.
Love that, bro. Thank you for sharing everything, man. It's been very useful. And as I said, bro, you've been a great client of mine, and I'm sure that we're gonna continue working together. Keep
Mm.
up doing everything that you're doing, bro. Thank you
Thank you
for
very much,
today.
sir.